The impact is enormous in Russia. There's no question. You've seen a ratcheting up of the sanctions. There's still a ways to go, and it really depends on what Mr. Putin wants to do and how he pursues his actions in the Ukraine. But I think the coming together a week ago, this conflict's only been 5 days. A week ago, people were questioning whether Europe, along with the United States, would take these sort of what are considered draconian actions. And they did come together. They've been consistent and they've been unified. And there's still a ways to go. And it's all up to Putin at this stage as to what he wants to do and the impact on his nation.
Yeah, I think Putin has made many huge miscalculations at this point. One was thinking Zelensky would flee. Another was thinking Ukrainians would lay down their arms. The third was thinking the EU would have no resolve and that the relationship between the allies with the United States, the EU, the UK would fraction. None of that has happened right now because he's taken such extreme measures to this point. If you were to use sanctions like this, the idea is, I guess, to punish the Russian people and to maybe pushing back so hard on Putin, he has to stop. Does that work?
Well, I think it's an acknowledgement, Becky, that I think there's a sense that there's more to being able to react to such actions than sending troops in. No one, and our president has been consistent in saying we will not send troops in. But there are plenty of things we can do. And when you have a unified Europe, along with the United States, the Western world, when they act together, can be extremely strong and unified and have an impact that's rather dramatic. And I think people underestimated the coming together of the West, and especially Europe. Germany's actions over the weekend were unprecedented in our modern history. And they've changed, and much of Europe has said, and even Hungary today, a president of that country who's pretty well aligned, and a lot of people have believed he's very aligned with Putin, now separating themselves from Putin and Russia.
But what's the impact on the markets? We're watching some weakness, especially in Europe, but financials here and in Europe and in other places down on all of this news. Is that because the Federal Reserve's not going to be able to raise rates? Is that because there are concerns about what the implications of taking Russia off SWIFT is?
I think all of the above, to be honest with you, Becky. I think when you see every day on television the conflict that's going on, and then you have Mr. Putin saying, he's put his nuclear forces on high alert, that's volatility to an extreme. So I think the market's just reacting for a whole host of things because there's turmoil going on and the perception of turmoil in the world. And that just makes everyone uncomfortable because of the unknown. And again, we're only 5 days into this conflict. So we'll see whether or not anything comes of the alleged peace talks today. But then President Putin's got a real challenge, and that is how strong can he go into Ukraine when you see the dedication and the resolve of the Ukrainian people and the world standing with Ukraine. That's a pretty massive force, not the actual army of Ukraine, but the world focused on Ukraine and Putin's actions.